It's game time.
Actually, it's tournament time.
And one.
Tonight on CSL, we'll break down who made the big dance, as well as who did not make the cut.
Yes, sir.
Plus in NASCAR, could the bell toll once again?
3 in a row.
Or would someone else find luck in Las Vegas? It is almost St. Patrick's Day after all. Hey! We're getting the party started early. Charlotte Sports Live begins now.
It's game time.
Now it's CSL, Charlotte Sports Live.
So here it is. 4 Carolina teams had a realistic chance of going into the NCAA tournament going into the day. 3, in fact, are in. Wake Forest is out. North Carolina is in. Duke, Clemson are 2. Blue Devils are number 1 seed heading into an arena very close to Charlotte. Welcome to Charlotte Sports Live and a big night for college hoops. Thank you so much for joining us. Mike Lissette here with Casey Funderburg. Joey Ellis will join us in a little bit. I know college basketball number 1 on our minds right now, but there is a lot of other stuff going on as well.
Oh yeah, first off, that open though with the drinking, that was fun for St. Patrick's Day.
with the drinking, that's the thing that caught your attention there.
That
okay.
was, yes, but so much going on, and we'll recap all of this week's NASCAR action in Las Vegas, plus Charlotte FC with a big win at the bank, and the Hornets trying to get a win as well out in LA.
Yeah, also we're going one-on-one with the Panthers' new $100 million man, J.C. Horn. But it is Selection Sunday, so we're going to start there and begin with the Tar Heels. They are going dancing. It's a surprise to many. Now, their road to the NCAA tournament starts a little earlier than the rest of the teams that are playing. They are going to go in the first 4 in Dayton against fellow 11 seed San Diego State on Tuesday. The winner gets 6 seed Ole Miss. This is what the selection committee looked at tonight. North Carolina's resume. The most glaring stat was UNC's record against Quad 1 opponents. They were just 1-12. Here's the silver lining, though. 11 of their 13 losses did come against top 50 opponents. Despite the uncertainty going into the day, UNC players never doubted their fate.
I think we proved that we belong in the NCAA tournament. The team that we've been the last 10 games, I know we dropped 2 games at Duke, but the team that we've been, how we've been playing, how we dominated the rest of the ACC. A lot of other teams in the ACC haven't done that. We all think we're a tournament team. So that's fully what we're expecting next week, and that's the news we're going into.
Just to see our team be called on TV and see where we're ranked at and be ready to play next week. So we're still in high hopes and positivity. So, we're going to be ready to play.
It's confidence right there, and they were right to be confident about that. You said it last night. I said it last night. North Carolina would get in the dance. I'm not sure if they were necessarily the most deserving team,
right,
but based on name alone, here they are.
Yeah, I think that helped them out a lot. I think their performance in the ACC tournament did help them out, even though they did lose to Duke. I think getting as far as they did and having the support that they did, the crowd they brought in, I think that helped with a lot of their decisions. Plus, the fact that Memphis pulled out the win today also helped them as well, because had Memphis lost, that probably would have stopped North Carolina's chances from making the tournament.
Yeah, the tournament selection committee later came out and said that they had determined that Carolina was going in, but it was contingent with what happened on that Memphis game. If it went another way, I think Carolina would have been out. We said the other night that depending on how Carolina did against Wake Forest that game, that it was going to come down to those 2 teams. Wake, by the way, now the first 4 seed ever in the ACC tournament to not make the NCAA tournament. So that game right there had a huge impact on what we're seeing today.
Yeah, unfortunate for Wake, but exciting for UNC, so we'll see what happens. So from the final team to make the field to a team that had a strong chance to get the overall number 1 slot, Duke is a 1 seed in the East region and will play the winner of American and Mount St. Mary's. It will be interesting to see how healthy star Cooper Flagg is for that. So no doubts for Duke today. They're a strong Final Four contender. They knew they'd be a 1 seed after winning the ACC tournament here in Charlotte without the services of Flagg. Joey Ellis joins us with a recap of how they did it.
Yeah, Casey, so Duke still has to wait to see which 16 seed it will draw when it plays Friday, rather close to home, just down the road in Raleigh. The Blue Devils, though, had another de facto home setting this past week here in Charlotte, overwhelming Louisville in the second half to capture the program's 23rd conference tournament title.
Really proud of our team, to win this ACC championship, to, win it outright regular season, and then to win in the tournament is special. For us to be tested the last 3 games the way that we have, I think we're going to learn a ton from it and gives us extra motivation and lessons to move forward.
What a night for junior Tyrese Proctor, and what a journey it's been for the Sydney, Australian native to Durham, who's an extension of his head coach on the floor and owes much of his basketball success to his head coach.
I think just the relationship that he built with me straight away, our first phone call. My dad actually got the call and brought it into my room, and we talked for about 15, 20 minutes. And I think just the way that he saw my future and the way that, his belief in me was a big thing. And I cherish relationships just like him. And, he's a really family-orientated person in the way that, when we came over on my visit, the way he took care of my family, and it meant a lot to me.
And for a team with 4 stud freshmen, Shire has found the right combination with his roster. Just enough grizzled veterans sprinkled in, with the spark plug Sion James being one of them, willing to do whatever is asked for the success of his team.
To help the other guys look good. That's my job. If Tyrese and Connor are looking good, that means I'm probably doing something right. Those two specifically are incredible. Every single person on our team. We got really, really, really good players, and my job is to help them shine.
Well, the Blue Devils continue to roll. Now 11 wins in a row, and even more impressive, 2 straight wins now without Cooper Flagg, as confidence with this club continues to ooze when it needs to most.
We've always been confident. The confidence is always there. It's just about a matter of time, and because even the guys who are outside, the guys who don't normally play, they trust in their work. So whenever they come in, they really step up.
Well, not a bad run for head coach John Shire. 2 ACC championships in 3 seasons now as head man in Durham. And freshman Con Knippel was named the tournament's most outstanding player. In postgame, he said, 2 titles down, 1 more to go. And that final one, of course, being the big one, as Duke will now kick off its NCAA tournament run Friday in Raleigh, guys.
So looking at Duke's East bracket, honestly, they have one of the easier paths to the Final Four in San Antonio. 2-seed Alabama has lost 3 of their last 5. Granted, all 3 losses came against top 5 teams. 3-seed Wisconsin lost today's Big Ten tournament final. 4-seed Arizona also lost the Big 12 title game this weekend. If Cooper Flagg is healthy, Mike, Duke should be pretty heavily favored in every game in this bracket.
They said he's going to play, and they said he's going to play this week, so that's going to be big. I think this past week, though, with Proctor, James, and Knippel playing together with Flagg out, I think that brought everybody a little bit closer together. It showed Duke that, hey, maybe if Cooper's having an off night, we don't necessarily need to just rely on him. We have so many guys, and I think they knew that going in, but the fact is they had to live by it, and they didn't die by it. They thrived, they got by, they won the tournament. The fact that Duke's in Raleigh, definitely going to help their cause.
Yeah.
It's going to be another home game for them. There's a lot of good things going well for Duke going into the NCAA tournament. They've got a tough road ahead, looks like any other team, but I think they're going to be fine.
Right. I hate saying that it's going to be easy for them, right? I mean, if you look at their stats, it should be easy. Yeah. That's right. But also, they're going to be playing. They could play Arizona. They've already beat Arizona, but that was back in November, and Arizona is definitely a different team than they were then. And potentially, they could be playing Tennessee or Kentucky, depending on how far they go. And those could be some pretty tough matchups for them down the road. But I think for the most part, they should be able to handle this first game for sure, and then go from there.
Duke, obviously, no stranger to being number 1 seed, but this is the first time they've been a number 1 seed under John Shire, so some history right there. Let's not forget about the Clemson Tigers, who are fresh off the best regular season in program history. Clemson earned a 5 seed tonight in the Midwest region. They'll face 12 seed McNeese on Thursday. They used to be McNeese State, now that is McNeese. That bracket includes number 1 seed Houston, who won the Big 12. Meanwhile, 2 other Carolina teams are in the bracket. 15 seed Wofford, they're coming off the SoCon tournament. They're dancing, and 13 seed High Point dancing as well. But Casey, back to Clemson. They're considered a dark horse by many who feel they can actually make a deep run in this tournament.
Oh yeah, and they finished. When they finished the regular season, they won the last 14 of the last 15 games. So they were obviously showing everyone what they were made of. It was actually so exciting watching them and seeing what they were able to accomplish down the stretch. They beat Duke.
Yeah.
That was huge. That was a game where I actually called that, I would like to say. I thought Duke was going to lose one more and it was going to be to them. But again, they're going to have another tough battle too. Houston, they're in there. They made the Final Four, Elite Eight, and Sweet 16 3 times in the last 5 years. So there's some talented teams that are going to be.
I know one of Clemson's key bench players got hurt in the ACC tournament, so that's going to be something for people to keep in mind. I'm not necessarily one of their leading scorers, but it's the guy that's in the rotation. Anytime the rotation is messed up this late in the game, that does tend to affect things. Look, the great season for Clemson, but I would not be thinking realistically they have a chance of winning it all. But obviously, as we know, stranger things have happened.
They have, and they have shown that they can make a run, that
Yeah.
they can pull together. I think that's they're a team that doesn't need to lose key players, right? Duke, Flag can sit out a little bit and move on and be fine, but I think Clemson's one of those teams, they've got to have every single person that got them to this place to keep it going. So we'll see what happens. So now moving on to the women's side, we know which Carolina women's teams are in the NCAA tournament and where they'll be playing. Three North Carolina teams will be playing in the Birmingham region. To no surprise, South Carolina picks up the number 1 seed. They'll face number 16 seed Tennessee Tech. Duke with the number 2 seed, North Carolina with the number 3 seed, and NC State picks up a 2 seed in the Spokane region. Also of note, High Point will play William and Mary for a 16 seed spot, and UNC Greensboro is also a 16 seed.
All right, switch to the NBA where things are a lot less exciting for the Charlotte Hornets. Despite the fact they've won 3 of 4, they still have the 3rd worst record in the league at 17-50. That mark includes the results from tonight's road game at the Clippers. Charlotte fell behind early, but briefly managed to recover. First quarter, LaMelo Ball. Oh, great pass. Josh Green, 1 of 5 assists for Ball. Charlotte was down 3. Moments later, this time it's Ball doing the scoring. Gets fouled on the floater, but it goes in anyway. Ball had 16 from there, though. It was all LA. James Harden, in particular, could not be stopped. First the and 1, and then after he gets up, gets back with the step back. Vicious 3. He was everywhere at 31. Clippers up 24 at the break. Third quarter, Harden this time doing damage with the pass. Kawhi Leonard was open, and Harden found him. Leonard scored 23, 1 of 4 Clippers who finished in double figures. It was a bad night for the Hornets. They fall hard, 123-88.
You have to be ready. You know, after you're coming in on this high, you played really well. You have to be ready for the other team to try to knock you down off of that pedestal or that mountain that you feel like you're on. And so I thought we could have been a little bit more locked in a lot of areas. So surprised that we weren't a little sharper to start the game, but I do think that we had some spurts and some moments where there was some good execution offensively and defensively, but obviously not enough tonight.
Yuck, yuck, and yuck. Hornets back home for the Hawks on Tuesday. Casey, one of those games where just from the start you had a feeling it was going to be a long night for Charlotte.
Oh yeah, and the way how Coach was saying, you know, you can't come off that high. I feel like Charlotte always struggles with that. They go in, they win a game, they look great, but they just can never keep that momentum going. Teams are always coming in and being able to stop them, and they were 18% from the 3 tonight.
6 of 33.
Yep. Yeah, that's just you cannot be doing that. And it's, you know, seeing someone like Miles Bridges only have 7 points when we've been used to seeing him pretty much dominate the floor lately is really tough for Charlotte, and that they're not going to be able to have nights like that.
They were 39% from the field. And this is my problem with modern NBA teams. They're just so conditioned to work from outside in. When those shots are not falling, they don't know how to respond. They don't know how to change their game plan. In the old days, teams would just start pounding. Yeah, there you go. In the old days, teams just start pounding it inside, and they'd work it from the middle out. And then eventually those shots would fall. But now you miss your first 10 threes, you take the 11th, and you missed that one too.
Yeah.
Don't like it.
Tough night for them. They're really going to need to bounce back against Atlanta on Tuesday.
We'll look forward to it. Well, up next, we're going to look forward to this too. We're going to go to Las Vegas. Things got a bit crazy in today's Pennzoil 400. At the end of it, Josh Perry was left smiling.
Plus, he got a record deal. Now Panthers corner J.C. Horn is going in the hot seat with CSL. Hear our exclusive one-on-one with him just ahead. And ahead in Quick Six, the Panthers making a flurry of moves this past week.
Yeah, but which one was the best? We're going to talk about it. Charlotte Sports Live returns. All right, NASCAR in Las Vegas today. Christopher Bell hoping luck would come his way once again so he could win his 4th race in a row. He was running second early, but then lap 110. This is where the dream died. He's in the top left box and not where he's supposed to be. He actually went to his teammate's box to get a wheel tightened. Eventually, he went to his own box, but that helped do him in. He finished 12th. Let's jump ahead. 73 laps to go. Kyle Larson leading, but behind him, it's where all the action took place. A 6-car wreck. Ricky Stenhouse got it started when he lost control. Austin Dillon, Bubba Wallace among those who took damage. In the end, though, it came down to these two guys fighting for first. Daniel Suarez led for 12 laps. He and Josh Berry fought to the end. Berry led for 18, including the lap that mattered most, the final one. Berry getting his first Cup Series victory. It was win number 101 for the Wood brothers.
It was awesome. Really we saw, I felt really good about our car really from the start of the race. We just had to tweak on it and just survive really, right? Like execution is such a big part of these races. We just had to, keep ourselves in the hunt and had a mistake on pit road, but was able to rebound and kind of capitalize on all the strategies going on there and found ourselves out front and got it done.
We'll hear more from Berry on the win later in the show.
All right, well, it is time for everyone's favorite part of the show. It is Quick Six time, and meteorologist Andrew Brightman is obviously here to join us.
So great to be
here.
Obviously.
We're so glad you're here.
Wouldn't miss for the world.
All right, well, let's put 2 minutes on the clock, and we are going to start with Andrew. So what was the best signing this past week for the Panthers?
I mean, it's the most high-flying one, keeping J.C. Horn here in Charlotte. I mean, truly a developing player. I know he's going to be the highest defensive back now it paid in the league, but truly turning into a lockdown corner. We got to this first Pro Bowl this year, really forming that base here on the defensive side with the Panthers for years to come.
Yeah, and that's what they really need there. Mike, Duke won the ACC title without Cooper Flagg's help. Does he need to be 100% for Duke to win a national title?
100% he does. I think he does. I mean, there's no doubt about that Duke played great in the ACC tournament, but he's an automatic bucket. And in the NCAA tournament, you need guys that can hit threes, and he's probably one of the best in the country at that right now.
I agree. Okay, Andrew, did the selection committee get it right with UNC?
I mean, they are the only 13-loss team to make the tournament here. At least that's from one of the major conferences. So I would say, I guess there has to be one worse team to make the tournament, and I think it's going to be UNC. Maybe they can prove all the doubters wrong and win a game or two, but I'm not exactly convinced they deserve to be in the tournament.
Yeah, they'll be in there with a chip on their shoulders. Okay, Mike, Charlotte FC with the win last night. Are they capable of a deep playoff run?
I mean, it's way too early to say, but because they're making me here in Quick Six, I will say sure. I mean, they're playing some consistent soccer, which is an issue that we have not seen from Charlotte FC since their inception. It's a good little run they're on right now.
Yeah, sure, why not? Andrew, now that you've seen the brackets, who are your men's and women's national champions?
Casey, the kids these days call it being basic, but I'm going with the Blue Bloods here. I think I've got Duke for the men and then UConn in the women's being my national champions. Going with the Blue Bloods here.
Yeah, you pretty basic there, but that's okay.
Sure.
No upsets? Come on.
I mean, winning the national championship? No.
Okay. Well, Mike, what was the biggest bracket surprise?
I think Michigan got seeded in a worse spot than I expected. I also thought that Louisville they beat Clemson twice this season, yet were seeded below them in the tournament. So those are the two things that were puzzling to me.
Yeah, well, it should be.
But that's what they like the controversy. That's
madness,
right?
That's
why it's March Madness.
They mess it up just a little bit so you don't think they're completely crazy. That's the truth.
They just want to make you go crazy.
That's right.
All right, well, we're going to move on to the NFL now. It's music to GM Dan Morgan's ears. The NFL salary cap is going way up again. We'll show you how much he has to spend next.
The chain, that's like my little nickname, Strap. A lot of DBs say it, but I kind of just embrace the whole name because it comes with the seatbelt.
Now, JC might want to be known as Strap, and now he's strapped with cash. Joey Ellis got an exclusive one-on-one with the NFL's newest $100 million man. That's coming up next. Back on Charlotte Sports Live, the NFL salary cap has skyrocketed again this season. It's about $24 million higher than last season, sitting at $279.2 million for the 2025 season. In the last 5 years, the cap has jumped nearly $100 million. It's jumped $242 million in the last 30 years. That is nuts. And one of the benefactors of that rising salary cap is Panthers cornerback J.C. Horn. He is now the highest paid DB in league history.
Money, money, money. That's what I was thinking during that story you were just telling Mike. But Horn and the Panthers recently agreed to a new 4-year deal once his rookie contract expires. That's worth $1 million. And that earned him a conversation with Joey Ellis.
Well, coming off your first Pro Bowl season with the Carolina Panthers, you'll be staying here at least another 4 years. On Monday, signing an extension with the club up to $100 million. That'll make you the highest paid defensive back in league history. When you just think about the journey that this football sport has taken you on, how significant is this?
I mean a lot. You know, when you pick up a football, this is what you dream of. You know, first getting to the league, but when you get to the league, you know, you have all the vets and the coaches telling you, like, man, you got to get to your second contract. Like, first round don't mean nothing, and it don't. Because you see undrafted guys go do it. You see third, fourth round guys go do it. So my mindset was always just keep working. And this is a big goal of mine, so I'm obviously excited and happy to check it off, but you know, there's still more work to be done. I feel like I'm not even close to the player I can be, and I feel like it's a lot of good football ahead of me. So, man, I'm just excited for the future, and I'm glad to be here.
There's a commitment from this franchise to you when they sign that deal with you. There's a belief in you that you can be part of this future long term, but for you, also conversely, fair or not, there's more expectations that come with that.
Yeah.
Do you embrace those?
Yeah, for sure. You know, that's just who I am. Like, I love the competition. I love the doubt. Like, I love all that come with it. And you know, when you get out there on Sunday, you get to unleash all that and, you know, show everybody why you feel like you're the best. So I look forward to the challenge, and I'm accepting all of it.
Every time the market gets reset, and really any position in this league, especially online, you hear, oh, he's not worth it, he's worth it, whatever it is. It's probably best to stay off online. But all that said, I mean, why are you worth it to this franchise?
You know, I feel like I showed it. You know, they see what type of player I am. They see how I go about my business each and every day. And I feel like they believe in me. So I'm going to go out there and prove them right. You know, and like you said, it don't matter what they think, if I'm worth it or not. It matters what the front office think, what my teammates think of me. And I just try to, you know, make those people happy and let everything else work itself out.
Speaking of the front office, Dan Morgan's been very active in this offseason, really addressing some glaring needs from last season that maybe were lacking at times. How do you assess the job the front office has been doing in bringing in more help, especially on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, it brought in some dogs, man. Like, I feel like we got everything we need to be an elite defense. You know, we had a couple unfortunate injuries last year. Some of our best players on defense. You know, we're gonna have DB back, Derrick Brown, DJ Wanham, who I think a lot of people don't understand how good he is, how he rushed the passer, how he played the run. So having those two guys back alone is gonna make the defense totally different. And then you add in all the new guys they signed. Moreg, having them in the back end over the top is gonna be a cool season, and I'm super excited to get to it.
There hasn't been much continuity from offseason to offseason, bringing back the quarterback, the head coach, the general manager. You have that now. How big is that for this franchise?
Super big, super big. It just shows consistency. Give guys a little bit more hope going into the season, and everybody know we have a plan now, and we just got to go out there and execute it because we got what we need to do that.
How about your quarterback, too? Bryce really built on a really impressive second half of the season, one of the better turnarounds in football last year. How much confidence is there from you within that locker room, within this organization, that he can be the guy to take this franchise to the next step?
Yeah, I mean, we all had confidence in Bryce since day one.
Yeah.
You know, he played the hardest position on the field, caught a lot of flack for his rookie year.
Yeah.
But, you know, quarterback's position, you need a lot of help in. You got to have guys protect you. You got to have guys get open. And being a rookie on top of that it's tough. But, yeah, we always had faith in Bryce, and just to see him come back and do what we all knew he could do, it's cool. And I'm looking forward to winning the Super Bowl with him.
The wins maybe weren't necessarily there last year, but a lot of games, one-score games, that really could have went the other way. A couple of plays, a couple of bounces here and there. I mean, how do you guys build on that momentum from last year? Can you take that through the offseason heading into the 25 season?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like you know, the team being in those situations last year against some heavy hitters like the Chiefs, the Eagles, you know, teams who are good almost every year. Being in those games and seeing the best of the best and realizing we can win these games, we could be one of these teams. I feel like that last year showed that a little bit, even though we came out on the wrong side of it. But, you know, this year I feel like we're going to be winning a lot of those close games and just learning how to win.
Obviously now with the new contract, a lot of work to get back to, as you said earlier. But what does the offseason look like when you're not focused around football?
I'll just be chilling, man. Yeah. Like around my folks, around my family, friends. I usually be in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Just working out, chilling on the game. Same stuff gonna go on, man.
Well, J.C. Horn, fresh off a well-deserved new contract that keeps you here in Charlotte for another 4 years. Congratulations and best of luck this season.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Well, up next, we head back out to Vegas to get a recap from today's race in Sin City as NASCAR now heads back east. A final look at the Pennzoil 400 is just ahead.
And speaking of recaps, we've got to talk about Charlotte FC's performance Saturday against Cincinnati. They'll be celebrating Victory Monday. That and more when CSL returns.
We're back on CSL. So the ACC tournament in Charlotte is a wrap, ending last night with Duke's crowning as tournament champs. Clemson and North Carolina both lost in the semifinals, while Wake Forest fell in the quarterfinals. Poor NC State did not even qualify for the 15-team tournament because they finished in the bottom 3 in the standings. Well, the ACC tournament was a make-or-break event for North Carolina and Wake Forest, who were bubble teams heading into that week.
And man, Duke and Clemson, they knew were going dancing before they even got to the Queen City. It was another great event at the Spectrum Center, where Joey Ellis is back with our Carolina recap.
Yeah, the shock of the NCAA bracket reveal, undoubtedly. Hubert Davis's Tar Heels 22-13 on the season, 1-12 against Quad 1 opponents, yet the Heels snuck into the field, the 68th and final team in the first 4 play-in game Friday in Dayton. And despite some of this year's results, Carolina's confidence really never wavered. It believed all year long it was a tournament team.
I think we proved that we belong in the NCAA tournament. The team that we've been the last 10 games, I know we dropped 2 games at Duke, but the team that we've been, how we've been playing, how we dominated the rest of the ACC. A lot of other teams in the ACC haven't done that. I mean, we all think we're a tournament team.
As for the top-seeded Blue Devils, never a doubt they would be in. It was just a matter of who they'd play. They are rolling at the moment, 11 straight wins, but the last 2 without stud freshman Cooper Flagg, and with him, utmost confidence that this Duke team can cut down the nets in San Antonio.
That's obviously the goal. I mean, there's no question about it, but I just don't think of it that way. You know, I just think about it. I'm not running from that either. Don't get me wrong. That's what we want to do. But just for us, we've approached this whole year, finish what's right in front of you. But I don't want to make any proclamations of what's success or not. For me, success is making sure we're connected, we're tough, we do everything that we possibly can to put ourselves in that position. And I can say that we are.
As for Brad Brownell's Clemson Tigers, one of the steadier teams in the ACC, it is off to the East Coast, a 5 seed in Providence, coming off a tough conference tournament semifinal loss, but Clemson's confidence is not wavering that it can piece together another deep tournament run.
Yeah, I would say we're motivated. We know we're a great team. If we just go out there and play the way we're supposed to play, I think we can compete with anybody in the country. So, yeah, we're ready for the next battle.
Well, as for Steve Forbes' Wake Forest Demon Deacons, a 21-11 season, not good enough to gain entry into the big dance. A 4 seed of the conference tournament would historically in years past certainly make the tournament, but not this year, as Forbes is open to finding ways to get more ACC representation at the table.
I think it's pretty apparent to me that we need to do better in November because a lot is put into November, and I think once league play starts, it's hard to move. So how do we fix that? We have to be creative, and we got to continue to improve the program. We got to continue to raise the bar, and it's our responsibility to do that to improve the league.
Well, it is worth noting 15-seed Wofford is also in after winning the SoCon Conference Tournament. The Terriers get Casey's Tennessee Volunteers Thursday in Lexington. 13-seed High Point is also in. The Panthers drew 4-seeded Purdue in Providence, so we have 5 Carolina teams that will be dancing, guys. Let the madness begin.
All right, thank you so much, Joey. Back to NASCAR. For the first time in his career, Josh Berry can call himself a Cup Series winner following today's Pennzoil 400 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Berry helped Ford notch its first victory of the season all along the way. Ron Futrell recaps today's action from Sin City.
So rather interesting wild race here in Las Vegas. Normally this race is pretty safe and sane, but not today. There were tires flying off cars, and it happened twice to Kyle Busch. All sorts of problems along pit lane for many of the drivers today, and then a wreck about 2/3 of the way through the race that eliminated a handful of cars. That is not normal here at the Vegas track. Another thing that was unusual today, the winner. Josh Berry has never won a Cup race before, but he got his first win today for Wood Brothers Racing.
It's really just hard to put into words, honestly. I mean, I was a little boy playing with die-cast cars on the floor of my house, watching racing and dreaming of racing in the Cup Series. So just to make it to this point has been so special, and it's been such a challenge to get to this point, but to get here and become a winner is really cool.
So next up for NASCAR, they take off to Miami, just outside of Miami, Homestead, Florida, for the race coming up next weekend. At Las Vegas Motor Speedway, I'm Ron Futrell reporting.
Well, thanks, Ron. Switching to soccer, Charlotte FC has had a lot of up and down moments the last couple of years, but if there's one thing they've been really good at, it's beating Cincinnati at Bank of America Stadium. They've played 3 times at BOA. Each time the Crown has walked away a winner. And Charlotte extended that record to a perfect 4-0. It was scoreless in until the second half when Charlotte caught a massive break. For some reason, Cincy started passing toward their own net off a lousy header. Liel Abadah says thank you out in front of everyone. He scores his first goal of the season. Charlotte up 1-0 in the 48th minute. And it wouldn't stay that way for long, though. Just 2 minutes later, Pep Biel threading the needle. He finds Patrick Agyemang, who soon finds the back of the net. Goal number 1 for Patrick, who is pulling double duty these days as a member of Team USA. Another win for Charlotte over Cincy. 2-0 was the final.
It was an interesting game. I thought the first 15 minutes, both teams were fighting for control. And, it was a little bit end-to-end. They made some good tackles, they made some good recoveries, but if you keep putting defenders under pressure like you did today, then you get the rewards like you did at the end there. And there were opportunities to score a few more as well. So, the lads will be a little bit disappointed they didn't score more, but they're a good team to play against, so it's a really good win for us.
Charlotte FC returns to the Bank on March 22nd for a match against San Jose.
Charlotte 49ers are about to begin spring practice this week, and the expectations are already growing for new head coach Tim Albin. We're going to break them down next.
And let the madness begin in Raleigh. If you're looking to find a cheap ticket for the first and second round games in Raleigh next weekend, good luck. More CSL in 2. Back on CSL, more local NFL news from this week. Former Charlotte 49er defensive tackle Larry Ogunjobi has been suspended for the first 6 games of the season due to violating the NFL's policy against performance-enhancing drugs. Ogunjobi just finalized a 1-year deal with the Bills after being cut by the Steelers on Monday. Ogunjobi's former college team is currently in a new era and about to kick off that era with spring practice starting on Tuesday.
A lot of work is ahead for the Niners, who are basically starting over 6 years removed now from their last bowl game appearance. Perhaps the less said about the Biff Poggi era at Charlotte, the better. The former Niners coach was great at getting headlines. Wins, however, were a different story.
It all starts with me, and it ends with me. And the entire organization looks like it looks because it's the way I chose it to look.
But now it's time to turn over a new leaf because Charlotte has a new look under the direction of first-year head man Tim Albin.
There is enough passion that I have felt today, all right? And we're gonna come knocking.
Albin had plenty of fire when he was first hired back in December, but now after months of waiting, it's time to see what he's got. At the moment, even he's likely not sure.
I mean, you're going to have to come and see me after spring ball and let's see where we're at.
After Poggi's dismissal, several key players from last year's team that finished 5-7 transferred. They include quarterback Deshaun Purdy, who went to Wake, and standout wide receiver Omega Blake, who ended up at Arkansas.
We want to be a developmental program, and we certainly were at Ohio for all those years. Again, the landscape has changed.
Charlotte wound up bringing in 25 new players from the class of 2025. Come Tuesday, they'll compete for playing time and starting jobs.
If you get the right team in there and you build the right way, this thing can be a consistent winner.
It's going to take a lot of work.
We're going to have to adapt to the environment.
But Albin, fresh off 3 straight 10-game winning seasons with Ohio, is confident they can do it.
Well, back to March Madness. We know the teams that will play first and second round games in Raleigh next weekend. That list includes top seed Duke. And if you want to drive north to catch a game, get ready to open your wallet. Dan West reports.
The signage is already up across Lenovo Center as Raleigh gears up to welcome college basketball fans from across the country.
It hasn't been here in a long time, and so I think having it come back just shows that there's the ability to host events like this.
It will be the first time March Madness has come to the arena since 2016, when nearly 20,000 people visited Raleigh, bringing in around $4.6 million. according to the Greater Raleigh Sports Alliance.
Because it does help our business community, whether it's people, maybe they're going to the hotels and then they're dining, or they're going to visit nightlife, but they're also shopping too.
Around 57,000 people are expected at Lenovo Center next weekend for the first and second round of the tournament. But getting your hands on tickets could be pretty costly. The cheapest tickets we could find on Ticketmaster Thursday morning for all sessions or all 6 of the games was around $456. The third most expensive host city behind Providence and Milwaukee.
Would you be willing to pay that much to go?
Maybe not that much. I just got out of college. I just started work, so I'm trying to save money. But if there was a way to make it easier, I'm sure lots of people would love to go.
While the resale ticket market is high, Sid Lohia says it's exciting to see the tournament return to Raleigh.
I've grown up here. I'd love to see an NCAA match here.
After hosting first and second round games last year, Charlotte will get tournament games back at the Spectrum Center in 2027. Well, Justin Allgaier leaves Vegas this weekend with the checkered flag after Saturday's Xfinity victory. And we made sure he didn't board the plane without talking to us first. We go all in with Allgaier next.
I see what you did there. Plus, the Checkers are north of the border this weekend in Toronto. They leave Canada today 0 for 2 against the Marlies. We'll defrost these highlights next. Back on CSL, Checkers looking to rebound from yesterday's loss to the Marlies. Two teams playing in a rematch today in Toronto. Just like yesterday, Charlotte struck first. John Leonard on a 5-on-3 power play, scoring his 28th this year. He's actually third in the league in that department. 1-0 Checkers. Now Saturday, that is where the scoring ended for Charlotte. However, today, had plenty more firepower. Second period, Ben Steeves netted his 7th of the season. It was a power play goal, and it actually happened when his brother Alex was in the penalty box for a high stick. Checkers went on to win this 2-0. Checkers went up 2-0. They go on to win this one by the count of 3-2.
All right, well, great win for the Checkers. Now back to the track with Saturday's win. Justin Allgaier gave Junior Motorsports its 90th Xfinity Series win. That's an impressive feat, and it earned him a conversation with Chris Matthews in Victory Lane.
All right, we are with Justin Allgaier, the winner of the LaUna here in Las Vegas. And Justin, congratulations. And boy, I'll tell you what, so many close calls, now getting your first one in Vegas.
Yeah, I've been so close so many times, and I love coming out here. It's one of the first racetracks that I came to, and just absolutely had a blast here. And you know, over the years when you finish second and third and fourth and you just keep knocking off those top fives, it's great and you love every minute of it, but it's also disheartening because you want this victory. I've watched a lot of my teammates come to this victory lane. I've seen so many men and women that I respect in this victory lane, and you just want that for yourself. You want to experience it for yourself, and it held up to exactly what I was hoping that it would be. You know, this racetrack, the battle that we had on track with Eric Amarola, just this team. I mean, to understand how great of a race car they brought, it's just really special, and really proud of everybody. You know, this is the first time that Jarrett Logistics has been in victory lane at all. I thought it was just on the 7 car, but at all. And so to see Mike Jarrett here and his family and to get them in victory lane, it's just things that when you have those moments, it's really, really special. And I got to go last night to the Sphere and watch the Eagles, and I feel like I'm experiencing Vegas to the nth degree this week. So it's been really, really cool, and definitely love coming out here to Vegas.
All right, back to soccer now. Life is about to get a lot crazier for a couple of guys on Charlotte FC.
Yeah, not only did Patrick Agyemang and Tim Ream have MLS matches on their schedule, they also have a couple of CONCACAF games to worry about as well this week. As we learned last week, both men were selected to play for Team USA. Agyemang also had a goal last night for Charlotte FC, so it's been a good week for him. There's not a lot of time to celebrate that, though, because that first match for the U.S. is coming up Thursday against Panama in Los Angeles. Agyemang and Tim Ream have each played for Team USA before. However, that does not make this accomplishment any less special.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good feeling. Makes me feel like that I've done something well when I was in camp, and now I know like I have opportunities to play with the guys from Europe as well. So now I could really compete with players in that caliber, and it just puts me in an environment that ultimately could allow me to develop more.
Because of their Team USA commitments, Agyemang and Ream will miss at least Charlotte's next game. That's here at the Bank of America with San Jose on Saturday. Will Charlotte get a QC crown for hosting another amazing ACC tournament? Find out next when CSL returns.
Time to wrap the show up with crowns. We talked about the Backstreet Boys last night. Do we have more Backstreet Boy related crowns coming up right now?
We do not, but my dad did let me know, because he was tuning in last night, that I was 2 when the Backstreet Boys were a thing. So yeah, I don't really remember them a whole lot. But tonight's crown my crown is going to the 2025 F1 season, which has officially begun. And Lando Norris, he was our winner, so actually he's technically getting my crown. But he won the Australian Grand Prix early this morning, if you were watching in America, and it's the first time Norris has led the driver championship. He started on pole, beat the reigning driver champion Max Verstappen. They had to fight through some pretty nasty weather. There was actually quite a few wrecks that happened this morning, but Norris was able to stay on top despite the wet course. And it was just great to see F1 back, because I love watching F1.
He does.
Great. Yeah, and great to see Lando Norris get that win, because I'm predicting it now. He is going to win the driver championship this year.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Okay.
All right. My crown is, well, our producer Joey's going to love me for this one. I'm going to give it to the Orlando Magic. His Orlando Magic. They have not had the best year, but today they did something they can be very proud of. They ended Cleveland's franchise best 16-game win streak. Paolo Banchero scored 24. Now, to be fair, Cleveland was playing with that all-star Evan Mobley. However, no excuses. That's what Joey says. This is Cleveland's first loss since February 4th. Joey said, you should make that your crown. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do that. And so there you go, Joey, right there. A crown specifically for you, right there.
No excuses, Joey.
All right. For Casey, I'm Mike. See you right back here tomorrow night. Have a good one.